Hello everyone, this is Felix from Felix the Dev, and today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic, and is how do top computer science students study? So, why are we going to talk about this? Over the years, I've worked with a lot of computer science students, and I've seen some behaviors in their study tips that are very common. So I've seen patterns that have separated the students with the higher grades than students with lower grades. So today I'm going to share with you guys tips and tricks, techniques that you can apply to your study regimen and see your grades soar, so you too can be a top computer science student. And some of these I've seen other students do, and I've done them myself, and they have worked wonders for me. So I want to share them with you guys so you can succeed as well. So number one is that they start studying early. So this is very important. Computer science students that do excellent in their grades, they don't wait until the last minute to study. So when I say last minute, is the day before, the night before the test. No, this is a big mistake, a very big mistake, and I'll tell you why. Because the concepts that are going to be evaluated in your computer science courses, most of them, they take a lot of time to sink into your brain. You know, these are concepts that are very practical in nature. So they need a time frame for your brain to connect and understand so you can apply them in the tests, which is a big thing that most of the tests are based in, is applying the knowledge. Not the theory is very important, but applying it as well. So that's where the time frame it's very important. So those concepts can sink into your brain and you can actually apply them. So what I've seen students do is that they get the syllabus, right? And as soon as they get it, they get organized and structure a study plan. So that's very, very effective. I've done it myself and it has worked wonders for me. And on average, what I've seen with different students is that they start preparing for the test at least 2 weeks before. The ideal scenario is as soon as you can start preparing, you know. So what I'm trying to say is start early and chunk the concepts into different study sessions. So don't try to bottle them up in just one night and expect for you to understand them, because it's not gonna work. You know, well, unless you're a super genius, but that's the rule of thumb. That's what I've seen over the years. Because out of these concepts, like I've said before, they take a lot of time so you can understand. So that's very important. So number two is that they practice a lot. And when I'm saying a lot, is levels of extremes a lot. Well, not that's too exaggerated. What I'm trying to say is that they do every practice exercise in the book assigned by their professor. And most of these exercises, you can find them in the syllabus. So, like the first tip, the syllabus is your best friend. So don't lose the syllabus. Print a couple copies of it. Take copies of it. But the syllabus is the map to success in your college course. So don't lose it. Use it. Oh, that sounded pretty good. So don't lose it. Use it. So, and why is this very effective? What I've seen over the years is that the tests, like I said before, they're designed to test the application of the concepts. So the more you practice, the more you're building up that muscle, that resistance of applying the concept, applying the concept, applying the concept. So when you take the test, it's going to be a piece of cake because you're going to be already with that resistance and that muscle of applying the same concept to different situations. So it doesn't matter how the professor can ask the question, you're still going to know how to answer it because you know how to apply the concepts. Not only you know the theory, but you understand the underlying foundation of the idea. And if you got that, my friend, you're gonna get an A. So, which is the tricky part. So, and this goes back to the concept of sink into your brain. So, the more you practice, you're building that connection of sinking into your brain until you dominate it. So, let's go to number 3. Is that they do their homework. I know what you can say is like, Felix, that's kind of obvious. And when I say do, is the emphasis in do. You know, put it in capital letters, D-O, do. And what I mean by that is that more than just doing it, they understand it. They understand how they achieved the solution to the problem. Because that's computer science. They give you a problem and you have to solve it with programming, essentially. So they understand how they solved it. So they understand why that route they took was the most feasible one, and also they understood the concepts that they applied to solve that problem. So they do their homework. And something that I've seen over the years as well is that the concepts that are going to be tested in the actual test most likely are also evaluated in the homework assignments. So do your homework. So I can't stress this enough. Along with the syllabus, do the homework. Just because they are not worth a certain high percentage of the grade, I've seen some students that they don't hand them in. This is a big no-no, big mistake. Always hand in your homework, and more than handing it, understand it. And if you didn't understand how you solved it, you still solved it, but you weren't like very clear, go ahead and do it again. You'll thank me later. And number 4, which is critical, and I tell all my students, don't be afraid to ask for help. So number 4 is they ask for help. So as soon as top computer science students sense, this is why it's very important to start early, that they don't understand an idea or a concept in their programming courses, they ask for help. So this can be going to your professor's office hours, number 1. This can be going to a classmate that understood, and that's perfectly fine. And also, it can be by hiring a tutor. And if you're interested hiring a tutor and tutoring with me, you can check out the link in the description below, so you can we can work together. But the essential idea is that they don't wait until the last minute to ask for help. So that's why it's very important to start early, because what I've seen is that if a student doesn't understand something the night before, right, and they didn't ask for help, they start going ballistic. You know, what I mean is that they get anxious and they get very preoccupied, that they're very worried, that's a better word, that they're not going to do as well. So it gets them anxious and reduces the performance that they do on the test. So we don't want that. We don't want to be anxious. We want to be confident and with a clear mind going into that test that we're going to ace it. So that's very important. Always ask for help as soon as you feel you need it. So, and now we're going to go to the bonus tip, and this is to reward everybody that has stayed watching the video. And this is a tip that I use personally, and really it has worked wonders for me. So, and this is the key that helped me graduate one of the highest GPAs in my class. And I tell you, before I did this, I was struggling more to get a good grade. But I started doing this, and it became even easier to get better grades in computer science. So the tip is, take the exercises assigned by your professor, right? This can be in the textbook. Also, sometimes they assign some exercises that they give you. But the idea is, take those exercises, put them in a Word document, copy and paste them, right? And also put the exercises that are discussed in the class. So you're going to copy and paste them and put them in a Word document, and you're going to put them in a test format. So you're going to put the number of the question, and also you can mimic a real test. You can put like the name, so you can fill out the name, the section, whatever. I used to do this because it put my mindset that I was in a real test. Even though it was a mock test, I was thinking that it was the real test. So put them in a test format, right? Organize them, put a number, and put the question, and just put a space between it so you can put your answer. And take that, print it out, right? And take it to somewhere that you have no distractions, just like a test. Don't use any book. Don't use the internet. Just take that paper with you and start doing it. Start doing it, right? And set a time frame. This is very important. Just as the one that you're going to face in the actual test. So if it's 2 hours, do 2 hours. You know, if you get it done before, excellent. That's awesome. But try to mimic the test environment. So if you do this, you're going to actually force your brain to act in a real test environment. So because one of the things that I've seen my students face, even I did as a student, is that sometimes you get nervous at some tests because maybe you have less time, you know, and you maybe knew the solution, but you just needed 10 more minutes. So the way that we can train our brains for this is to mimic the environment before we get into actual thing. Because if you do that, you're going to have the mental resistance and the muscle that I've been telling you of applying the concept, and your brain is just going to think like, oh, this is just a mock test, you know? It's going to reduce test anxiety, number one. And number two, you're going to be so used to it that you're going to ace the test. So I started doing this, and I've also recommended this to a lot of my students, and their grades have gone like this, whoop, just up. I've taken C students to B's, B's to A's. You know, it's like, this is a very good technique. Also, it worked for me in a lot of classes. So you can apply it and also get good grades as well. So there you have it, guys. I hope you gain a lot of value from this video, and I want you to succeed, so go ahead and apply what I gave you here. And if you like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video, because I'm going to be posting more content, so you don't miss. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon as well, so you can receive the notifications when I post new videos. So that's all for today. See you on the next video, guys.